spoke to Eddie Reynoso over the weekend, and he told me that if Canelo does become undisputed, he wants him to move up to 175 to fight Arutur Beterbiev. That caught me off guard. I was like, wait, what? Like, Beterbiev's a beast, dude. Like, the guy's freaking huge. Like, why would you want to do that? And he says, in order to be an all-time great, Canelo has to take those risks. And you know what? Canelo's a strong guy, and he's been in there with strong guys. Um, is that crazy talk? What do you make of Canelo moving up to 175 if he does become undisputed?
Well, he's already fought at 175, but that is kind of crazy talk because that guy is a beast. But again, his inactivity could be his downfall. Canelo is a guy moving up. When you have these guys that are moving up from 154, 160, he's got faster hand speed. He's got better feet. He's got better head movement. He's got all that. And he's not going to sit there for Beterbiev to hit him. So Beterbiev is going to be a little bit slower. Yes, he can punch. Yes, he's strong. But if he's a tick behind Canelo, then he's going to be getting hit. But it is a difficult fight, though. That is probably the most difficult fight physically. The most difficult fight technically, I think, would be Bivol.
Yeah, Bivol's trick. His movement, his timing is that is a super tricky fight. If Canelo, a lot of talk has been the team wanting to take risks in order to be great, which should be commended. I think, but also, I think a goal of theirs is to be like one of the top Mexican fighters ever. If Canelo is able to become undisputed, where would you rank him at that point if he's able to do that?
Well, first of all, let me go back to the beginning of the question. Now, you're talking about being an all-time great and taking risks. I think the media and the fans, maybe not so much the fans now because of COVID and they're not around in the fights, but they always demanded guys do things that are beyond what they should be doing. They did it to Golovkin. They wanted him to move up to 68, 75, and Golovkin didn't want to because he had a lot of business to take care of at 60. They asked. Canelo's doing it now, and he's fighting regularly, and we can't be satisfied. The fans are, well, he's fighting bums. Well, he's moving up and he's fighting champions, So now, as far as him being the undisputed champion, I think he can be undisputed champion. Whether he will be the greatest Mexican fighter in Mexico, he may be with achievements, maybe with titles that he's won. But as far as the Mexican people taking him as the greatest, I think that Chavez has that mantle, and I don't think Chavez will ever lose it. I mean, Chavez took it from Alvarez, and Chavez is a modern great that I think is in the heart of the Mexican people. So I don't think he'll ever take that mantle from him. But as far as achievements, I think he will be the greatest Mexican fighter ever.
That's actually a great point you bring up, because accomplishment-wise, if he is able to do that, there's no one else that's been able to do that. But you are right. Chavez is like stolen the public's hearts in terms of what he brought, the attention that he brought with this fight, and also the amount of pride, orgullo that he gave, Mexican fight fans.
I think the biggest or the how can I put this? Olivares had this. He was one of the people. He was a man of the people. By some of the things that he did as a man outside the ring, I think that people could associate, the Mexican fan could associate with who he was and how he was. I think that they do that with Chavez. I don't think Canelo, because of the stardom and the money that he's made, I don't think people relate to him as much as they do to Chavez for that reason.
Well, another big thing, I'll bring this up. I was getting my haircut a few weeks ago, and the guy was a boxing fan, and he's a Golovkin fan, and he told me he's a Golovkin fan over Canelo. I'm like, why is that? And he told me because Canelo doesn't fight the guys he's supposed to fight. He's fighting a lot of guys he wasn't supposed to fight, and that's why sometimes I can't rock with him.
I'll go back to the question you asked a couple questions ago and the response that I gave. The people are never going to be satisfied. They're always wanting to move up. This guy's got the best resume in boxing right now. We beat him twice. I strongly believe Golovkin beat him the first time and beat him the second time. But he's got the best resume as far as who he has fought and how he has dominated the guys that he's fought after Golovkin. And these guys were champions. These guys were bigger than him. You're talking about a guy that won. Did he win his first title at 140? I think that was his first title, right?
Matthew Hatton. I was there in Anaheim. I believe that was I want to say 154, but he missed weight,
Okay,
and
well,
the Hads
Golov,
got really, really mad.
okay, Golovkin started at 160 and stayed at 160. Hopkins, who everybody considers one of the greatest, started at 160, and most of his great fights were on 160. At 170, he was 75, I should say, and 68, he really didn't fight bigger names. Canelo's fighting all the ex-world champions. Canelo's fighting guys that, for instance, the Crusher. I mean, Kovalev. Nobody wanted to fight Kovalev. I mean, after Andre Ward, Andre Ward's, as of course, Hall of Famer, beat him twice, but nobody after that wanted to fight Kovalev. And when they fought Kovalev, it was not the best of fights against the better guys. And he took Canelo. Canelo destroyed him. So I can't see how he can't be given the right support no matter who he's fighting. I think again is because Mexican people don't relate to him in a way that Chavez does, and they're never gonna replace him as their idol or their hero.
To me, I still put Finito and Sanchez up there, but a lot of people tend to forget about those two guys.
The unfortunate thing is in the Western Hemisphere, those weights are not really relevant. They're more relevant in Asia. But Finito was great, 50-0, and some of the greatest knockouts you'll ever see. If you go back on YouTube, I was lucky enough to be present at a lot of his fights when I worked for Don. And he's a tremendous puncher, a bigger puncher than anybody that's fighting right now. If you take him weight by weight at 105 pounds, when he hit somebody that went flying, you don't see that no more.